to start on the football.
All right, guys, as promised, here we are, part 2 of the faculty filming locations. We are now in Lockhart, Texas. This is Lockhart High School, and we are at the football field. This is a big set piece in the film. As you know, a lot happens here. So we're going to have Kenny here from Onset Cinema kind of lead the way. I was part of this event. When was this? November of last year of 23. I decided to be a part of this Onset Cinema for the faculty and to basically watch the film on location because I live here in Texas, so I was like, why not? You know, I've been to this location before, but I figured I would partake in this. Yeah. They had like concrete curbs or something.
Yeah, those curbs.
Yeah, because in the opening scene, they have the with the alien over there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I was looking. I was like,
it's different.
It was like legit curbs.
Yep.
Which I felt kind of
So Kenny's going to kind of take the lead a little bit on this because I'm going to be filming him talking about the scenes. So it's going to be a...
Go Hornets.
Yeah, go Hornets. So it's going to be a slightly different video here as far as presentation goes, but I think you'll follow along. Enjoy.
So as far as the showing you where everything was filmed. So the first thing we see in the faculty is a shot of this very sky. It's the first scene you see a football flying through the air. And all the Hornets are in their jerseys right here, and this is where they're all practicing and training. And then Coach Willis, who is Robert Patrick, he is yelling at all the football players and so much cursing. So unnecessary. He is really angry. So yeah, Robert Patrick, he would have been like basically right here, all pissed off. And Stan and Usher are walking this way, so these are kind of the lockers for the actual school. And then Robert, he comes up and flips over. I think it's pretty much right here is where he flips over the benches and spills the water cooler. But he kind of kicks the sprinkler and then puts his hand down on it, and then he turns around, and you know it's a perspective of someone menacing, sneaking up to him, and he says,
"Yeah, what?"
So the next scene at the on the football field, Elijah Wood plays Casey. He would have been eating lunch all by his nerdy self.
He's pretty much where that pigeon is right now.
He's very close to the pigeon. Yeah, so I don't know if you see the end marker. No. So I'm thinking where the B is, it's definitely to the right of the B. So that's where he would have been sitting by himself. And then he walks down the stadium. He comes out this fence door right here in the middle, and he walks right across here. And so I would say, right in this general area is where he finds the new species, where he picks up the little alien pod. Yeah, it would have been right in this area. What's up? Coach is right behind him. And he's like, this isn't the cafeteria, son. I've seen you around. You're not into sports. And then what should Elijah Wood say? Yeah, I don't think a person should run unless it's being chased. And of course, Coach loves that. But that whole little scene right here, which is pretty rad, like when the kids discover the new alien species, was right here in this very field. So quite a bit of stuff. And now we're going to walk over to the parking lot where I feel like even more was Sorry. We're establishing the high school, Harrington High. His black cool rad car. He comes right through here, and he pretty much parks right in this general area. The spaces are going this way, and of course he doesn't give a shit. He parks this way, and of course that's when he opens up the trunk and he gets out. That's when we first see the scat. And if you look closely, I don't know if you have the one of him pulling it out of his pocket. So you can see this building right here is clear as day in the background. So like the angle of that, his car would have had to have been in this general area to be able to see that side of the building with that particular angle. But anyway, this is where he gets out the scat. Guaranteed to jack him up. So of course, Miss Burke is looking. She's very timid, wearing. Oh, isn't she wearing like her yellow? And right before she comes up, he's selling a full frontal VHSs of Neve Campbell and Jennifer Love Hewitt. And if you listen closely, I think he says the name of it is Party of Pretties. Is I guess the porn. I don't know. And then Miss Burke walks up and of course she says, you can't conduct personal business on the property. Josh doesn't care. And he offers her chocolate-covered laxatives and cherry-flavored Magnum condoms. So after they kill the professor in the classroom, they walk out of the school. There would have been a walkway that was covered that ran down there, and that's where the entire cast would have walked out. And they would have walked out here, got in Zeke's car, and they would have sped off, and they would have went out that entrance right there to the right.
Those weren't there.
Yeah.
The development there.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally new.
Wow.
Do you know why this location in the Austin area was chosen for filming, or?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when films
Rodriguez is from here.
Yeah. Yeah. Would he have had that much pull in the 90s, you think? Yeah. I'm assuming a big part of why they filmed here was the football stadium.
Right.
Because they obviously needed a pretty accessible football stadium, and I would say a high school football stadium would be the most accessible than like a college or something like that. That's just my guess. But they send Stan out, and he's trying to check out stuff. He goes to the field, and that's when we see the super awesome faculty shot, of the Hornets soaking up the rain, and that would have been right in front of the stands there at the stadium. The next time we see the parking lot, kind of like the entire climax takes place here. So there would have been buses. All the buses would have been parked right here, kind of lined up this way.
Like that.
And they're trying to get scat from Zeke's car. So Zeke's car in this scene would have been parked pretty much where that grass patch is. Coach and all of the football players basically are walking directly towards us. Casey runs onto the bus and has the whole confrontation with Delia. And at that point, that's when Principal Drake shows up, and she's looking very, she's looking beautiful in her red dress. So that whole scene, when she approaches him at his car, would have been right over there. He puts his car in drive, and he pretty much does circles right here in this parking lot. She busts through Zeke's window, and she's in the back of the car. And then I'm pretty sure, so when the car runs into the bus, I'm pretty sure, what you're seeing is from this perspective here. So the car would have been, Zeke's car would have coming this way. It makes sense because the buses were parked out here. He would have wrecked his car pretty much basically where we're standing, or a little bit further over there. And then we have the awesome reveal that Principal Drake is, her head gets cut off and her head starts walking around with the tentacles.
Octopus lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would have been all here in this parking lot.
Who's the one under the car?
That's Zeke when he falls out.
And that curb is probably not here anymore.
I got that one.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, pretty much this has all been completely redone.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is like, for one location, this is way longer tour than I normally do. So it kind of just goes to show you how much of the faculty was filmed here at this high school, which is pretty amazing. But But yeah, so I think they're testing everything, and we'll show the movie at about 4 o'clock. What's up?
Were the houses like Zeke's house and Casey's house and stuff? Were that like in those neighborhoods at all, or?
No, so they're I have the addresses. They're not. I don't think they're in Austin.
Cases is in Austin.
Is in Austin.
Zeke's in
Zeke's
San
is
Marcos.
San Marcos.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty.
So it's pretty far.
Very far.
But yeah, Zeke's house was kind of cool in the movie, and it's been bought and it's been completely remodeled.
It's very
Looks all
modern now, yeah.
and they kind of fucked it up.
Cases
but-
looks pretty similar.
Yeah,
Though.
Casey's is kind of the same.
Yeah, going to the neighborhood, it kind of.
Well, there you go. That's what happened at the Lockhart High School football field. Everything that happened there on the field, in the stands, out in the parking lot. This is a good opportunity to segue into what they were just talking about, the characters' houses. Okay, so let's flash back 2 years ago, March of 22, when I first started seeking out the faculty locations. The first locations I went to were the houses. That's pretty much all I knew at the time. And at the time, I didn't plan to do a YouTube video on the entire film. So I went and visited these houses to basically get still photos, then and now still photos. So that's what I'm going to present to you now. I'm going to show you the houses and what they look like today in photo form, but I'll commentate and show and explain where these are. Now, before we do that, I forgot to show you while we're still at the football field. Here are a couple of stills that I did. This is this is where Casey was. He ran off by the coach, and this is basically where Usher and the other players are coming off the field from. And this is one of the final shots with Stan and Stokely there. You can see the field goal post in the back. That's what it looks like today. But moving on, let's get to their houses. Okay, so the first house that we see around 38 minutes in is Casey's house. This is his residence. There's the movie shot up there, and there's my shot right there. Obviously, the paint has been changed. This is in Central Austin, Texas. Address is 4211 Avenue F. It looks exactly like it did, except the paint's different. It's blue now. The window's there. So speaking of the window, Casey comes out that top left window when he's sneaking out. His parents are punishing him. They took away his phone and his internet. They had the internet back then from supposedly lying about what happened with the faculty at the school and the body and in the closet in the faculty's office. They take him home from school and they ground him. Well, he tries to sneak out through the window to go find Delilah, and as he's doing that, I recreated this next shot of him actually coming out of the window. Which then brings us to the last shot I have here at the house, which is his view of 3 of the faculty standing right there in his front yard, looking at him all eerily, including the coach. And it's a very iconic shot. Well, from what I remember of the faculty, this is one of the most memorable shots. And I did my best to replicate it without putting my tripod onto the actual property of the home. So that tree, I'm assuming that's the same tree. It looks a little wider in my shot, like bigger, but it's right there. I mean, it could be a new tree because I don't know. It works for the photo. I'm standing where the 3 faculty are, and there's that little brick walkway. Everything seems to look exactly like it did back in '96 when they filmed this. Even the picket fence, if I remember correctly, the picket fence is still there. I don't think it's the exact same one, but a picket fence is there. However, I couldn't include it into my shot because that would have required for me to put my tripod over onto the actual property of the home, and obviously I didn't get that permission. So my tripod's in front, unfortunately, so I couldn't get that exact of a match. But if you actually Google 4211 Avenue F, you can see there is a picket fence still there. Most likely it's not the one from the shoot, but still. So this next location is kind of transitional. It brings us to Lockhart, Texas. This is just it's Zeke and the crew on their way to Zeke's house. They just left the school and they're on their way to his house, and they run into this roadblock. which it looks like from how they speed off, they're assuming that the authorities, the police there, are aliens as well. Like they've been possessed. So they take off, and this is just in downtown Lockhart. As you can see, my photo. I mean, it's the exact match today. That same jeweler's building, still there, looks exactly the same. And from there, we see them arrive at Zeke's house. It's literally the next scene. Cut to Zeke's house. They're pulling in the driveway. Now, Zeke's house it stands in San Marcos, Texas. It's the address is 916 West Hopkins Street in San Marcos, Texas. As you can tell, it's definitely been remodeled and pretty much updated quite a bit. The driveway looks almost nothing like it did in the film. The yard, the grass, yeah, even the tree. I think the tree that's in the middle of the yard doesn't look to be the same. Looks like there's a new one there. The trees that were on the right are gone. They've been replaced by this dark gravel. There's a fence in the front of the yard now. But other than that, it's pretty unmistakable. That is the place. Now, once they pull in, we get some other shots here. There's a closer shot up of Casey and Zeke, which there's my then and now there. Basically, the best I can do without getting onto the property. There's the matches up there where the house kind of pulled in. I'm up against that new whatever that is, that fencing that I can't even remember what that was, like a metal barricade of some sort. But anyway, I'm leaning up against it, and there's the two shots there. And then from there, we have another shot on the side of the house right here. This is when the group is coming around the side to go to Zeke's lab, or that garage looking area where that lab is, which is this shot here. And as you can tell, the entrance to that back area is boarded off. Now, I couldn't get onto the property, obviously, so I took a shot from the side. I think I'm in the road, but I'm zoomed in quite a bit. And there's also a fence there, on the side of the house, so it blocks a lot of the view. That's the best then and now match you can do without getting onto the property. It's pretty cool to think, that's where the crew made their way to the back, and just right through that blocked entry there on the side of the house is where that lab was, Zeke's lab. It's a lot goes down there. He makes the group all use the scat to eliminate the possibility of them being turned. Well, you know what happens after that. Chaos ensues. They break out, and they end up running down the street, which I didn't get all of those shots. I mean, it's understood. This is the location. But yeah, so this is Zeke's house. It's San Marcos. It is not too far from if I remember correctly, it's not too far from the Lockhart football stadium, the football field. That's going to be the closest location. After you leave the football field, Zeke's house would definitely be the closest location to get to next if you're planning to see these spots on your own. This would be the next stop after the football field. Well, guys, that'll do it for my presentation of the faculty filming locations. This is probably going to be the most complete faculty filming locations video that you'll find on YouTube. This part and part one. So if you haven't seen part one, go back and watch that. I'm going to leave you with some footage from the event, the On-Set Cinema event, where we are about to watch the faculty, the film, on the Lockhart High School football field there where the film was shot. So how meta is that? And that's kind of what on-set cinema does, actually. They will take you to the location of mostly horror films, your favorite horror films, and you can watch said film where the film was shot. So it's pretty cool. They came to Texas in November, and I live here, obviously, so figured why not. But again, thanks for watching. And again, if you haven't seen part 1, I definitely recommend you do that. That will cover, where the school was, the Texas School for the Deaf. The main building of Airting High no longer exists. You get to see where that used to be on campus. And then I actually it will take you onto the campus where the pool scene was filmed. That's a pretty exclusive, that's some exclusive footage, because to this day I have not seen anyone else cover that. So this is about as complete as you're going to get to a full The Faculty filming locations video. I hope you enjoyed watching, and if you have any questions for me, or if I left out anything, which I hope I didn't, leave it in the comments. And from Lockhart High football stadium, I think they're the Lions, but I'm going to say go Hornets, and go Harrington Hornets, and we'll see you on the next one.